Reflective Vest by Curly Rider 91. Chester, can you hear me? Where is she? Let her go. We need to get out of here now, before they come back for us. August 7th, 1972. Chester Oak's inner voices chant words of discouragement and nearly drive her into oblivion. As the eldest of 3 children, Chester feels alone. Her parents dote on the younger siblings, leaving Chester to her own devices. They uprooted the family to Seattle without notice, much to Chester's dismay. Chester's depression has all but consumed her. Betrayed by her parents' inability to emotionally connect with their blood, having to, once again, make friends, and getting angry over trivial matters, Chester's heart can't stand the pain. The other day she threw a fit over the neighbor's lawn-mower. Journaling her thoughts soothes a bare amount of pain. Making conversation with her parents falls on deaf ears. Both parental units put food on the table, which is more than enough support in their books. Then she met Samuel, Charlie, and Lester, the unorthodox trifecta of Seabreeze High. Charlie and Lester, fraternal twins, introduced themselves first. Charlie, chess team captain and foundress of the Women in Math and Science Club, smells the hurt radiating from Chester. She wants to use it to her advantage. One day Chester finds a note in her bag. "You are the new kid at Seabreeze High, right? If you are, come to room 307 tomorrow after the 7th period bell rings. There are people I want you to meet. I can't wait to see you there, bestie." Chester rolls her eyes, crumples the note, and shoves it inside her bag. She nearly runs into someone while making a beeline towards the exit. "Pardon me, you must be Chester. My name is Lester. How are you doing today?" The plastic smirk on their face tells Chester she should leave, while suppressing the tears forming in her eyes and seething anger boiling in her gut. Chester replies, "I have nothing to complain about. Have a nice day." She glances over her shoulder while exiting the school building. Lester's brown eyes squint under the fluorescent lighting. Chester averts her gaze. Once outside, Chester watches her breath dance in the wind while she hurriedly passes over Poison Bridge, a cobblestone landmark rumored to house mystical creatures, and covers Dusang River. Over the Poison Bridge, Chester freezes in place. Chills crawl down her spine. Her pupils dilate when they see something off in the distance. Before her brain can process what is happening, the cold ground and Chester's face collide. The sound of muffled voices and a warm hand jolts Chester from her stupor. She picks herself up, tucks her hands under her armpits, and stands up. Muffled voices vie for her attention, but she carries forward with her commute. When she arrives home, Chester is greeted by emptiness. Her parents are out and about, running errands or working. Her siblings are off on playdates. She grabs an apple from the fridge, rushes into her room, and throws her bag on the bed. A rainstorm of sadness cascades down her face. 10 minutes later, Chester decides on a hot shower and puts herself to bed. Rumors fly during the school next day. "I heard someone was pushed to the ground while walking over Dusang River. Well, I heard an odd creature had thrown a kid across the bridge. My parents think a person attempted suicide, but the river threw them back onto the bridge. Did you know it was that new girl, Chester, who was at the bridge? That does not surprise me. She seems like the type to attract unwarranted attention." Chester, the fuel for everyone's gossip, knew little of what happened at the bridge. She pays no attention to the glares and makes it to room 307. Lester, with their unnerving presence, sits at the front of the room, back-facing Chester. Another individual, presumed male, keeps his head on the desk he is currently occupying. After shutting the door, Chester gingerly walks to the desk, closest to the exit. "You may sit next to us if you would like. We will not bite," Lester says without facing Chester. "The brunette-haired boy with glasses is Samuel, and my sister is on her way." Chester looks to her left and then her right before moving. She sits 3 desks away from Lester. 3 minutes later, another woman enters the room. Her pale gray eyes could melt ice. Her nose sticks in the air, and her arm swings from side to side with grace. Chester follows her movements and blurts out, "You must be Lester's sister." The woman faces Chester, nods, and makes it to the front of the room. Lester and Samuel flank her on either side. "Let me introduce myself. I am Charlie, the person who left the note in your bag. What motivated you to come here?" Charlie extends her hands out and gestures around the room. Her smile seems forced, putting Chester on edge. "I don't know. I have nothing waiting for me at home except schoolwork." Chester fidgets with the sleeve of her sweater while answering Charlie. This gesture makes Charlie's eyes sparkle. "I understand. Being a new student is difficult for you. This is a safe zone, and I want you to feel heard. Lester and Samuel share my empathy, don't you?" Lester and Samuel shake their heads yes. Charlie continues her speech. "You seem like the type of person who does not have many friends, yet, deep inside your soul, you want to be connected with others. If I have overstepped a boundary, let me know." Chester stops fidgeting with her sweater. Her eyes widen and all she can do is stare at the floor. How does Charlie know I have one close friend? I have been at this school for a month and have not talked with anyone. Charlie thinks as she suppresses a cough. "What my sister is trying to say, we want to be your friends. The 4 of us are in the same year, take classes together, and Charlie here can introduce you to her Women in Math and Science Club members." Charlie, Lester, and Samuel look at Chester, waiting for her to answer. The room feels like it's shrinking. Chester's heart rhythm echoes in her ears, and a cold sweat forms on her brow. She musters a smile and says, "I have nothing to lose." The 4 teenagers exchange contact information and agree to eat lunch together the next day. After leaving the school, a smile stretches across Chester's face. It slowly fades away as she approaches Dusang River. Vague memories of yesterday creep into her mind. The bridge looks more ominous under the partially cloudy skies. A faint rumbling near the water's edge forces Chester to do a double take. She catches something running off in the distance. She waits a moment and continues walking home. When she is a third of the way across Poison Bridge, Chester stops walking. A figure, roughly Chester's height, stands on the right side of the walkway. Their arms are crossed over their chest. Eyes look over the water. They remain still as Chester cautiously walks past them. Once her feet touch the damp soil, Chester looks over her shoulder. The figure has not moved an inch. Something tells Chester she will see this figure again, but they are not to be feared. November 7th, 1972. Chester walks up to her reflection. The environment is familiar, yet vague. Her body feels light as a feather. "It is nice to see you again, Miss Oak," a voice shouts from the distance. Chester turns her head slowly and her heart sinks. "You are the person I saw at Dutsang River, and you're not human." Surprise! My fangs must have been a giveaway. A light-hearted giggle passes the vampire's lips. She continues talking. "I have kept my eyes on you since you were born. No, I don't intend to bite you and turn you into a vampire, unless that is what you wish for. No, thank you, I prefer staying human. What is your name? Bee, like the animal. They are my favorite creatures. Okay, Bee. Why am I here? Chester points around the environment and her reflection. Bee smiles and answers Chester. This is an intervention for your heart. I have noticed over the years you have grown cold and spineless. Chester flinches while Bee continues talking. Take your move to Seattle, for example. You spend most of your afternoons cooped inside your room, a defensive move to protect yourself from disappointment. After some time you decided to hang out with a group of bullies, Lester, Charlie, and that other jerk, Samuel. Yes, his smug face is easy to forget. The people in question use you as a doormat. Would you agree? Chester balls her fists up, ready to punch Bee in the face. Her heart rate jumps, and she makes herself count down from 10 before responding. I disagree. Last week they invited me out for tea. Yes, and they bailed out on you 30 minutes before you were to meet up. Chester releases her breath. Her left fist relaxes and Bee grins. And there is the part of them forming a study group and expecting you to provide the homework answers. The one time you refused to give out the answers, they gave you the cold shoulder for a week. Then they acted as though nothing happened, but this is how friends... Chester can't finish her sentence. She stares off to her left, lost in thought. She looks at herself in the watery mirror one last time. The reflection is standing erect, arms at either side, with a genuine smile across the face. A halo of light radiates from the person's feet, but a faint aura of darkness outlines most of the body. Chester extends her right arm and touches the reflection. She starts talking again. I have allowed those jerks to use me as a justification for how I feel inside. In the back of my mind, I know they are not good for me, but I feel it is better to hold on to someone and have them use me than feel like an outsider. Bee slowly nods her head in agreement before saying, and the person standing in front of you is what you truly desire. She is there, inside your being, waiting to be released. I told you this was a bad idea. We should have run away the second she jumped into the river. This is all your fault. Are you serious, Charlie? It was your idea to tell her our cat ran away and could not swim. Maybe it is better if we leave. An argument between Charlie and Lester disrupts Bee's speech. She smiles and leaves Chester with a final message. When you touch the reflection a second time, you will wake up. What you decide to do afterward is up to you. She turns around and disappears. Chester looks at the watery mirror one last time. She unclenches her left fist, exhales sharply, and taps the surface. The dewy soil caresses Chester's face as she bats her eyes open. 2 pairs of feet bolt toward her. Oh, my goodness, we thought you were dead. Why are you wet? Chester swats away Charlie's hand and places her right palm on the ground. She slowly picks herself up and brushes off the dirt from her white dress. Without uttering a word, she turns her back to Charlie and Lester, walking away with her hands at either side. A genuine smile rests in her heart.